Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Leslie Phillips.
Hello everyone, welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. My name is Dr. Leslie Phillips and I will be your host for the next hour. I'm here in the studio with Corey and we hope that you had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and New Year. And we've been off the last 2 weeks, but I hope you enjoyed listening to the pre-recorded shows that we aired.
And for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, we hope you had a happy holiday.
We do, yes. Yeah. All right, so into the new year we go, and of course the format of the show is just the same as ever. So every week we have a discussion topic focused on metaphysics and spirituality. We were going to have a lady come and talk to us about African divination this evening, but unfortunately she's not been able to make it. So instead, I just grabbed some quotes from the Maharishi Yoga. And they're not quotes that I've ever read before, but I just thought we can read out the top 10 quotes from the Maharishi Yoga and have a discussion on what he's teaching us through these. He seems to I don't know much about him, but he seems to be teaching in metaphors and parables, really, little stories. So here's the first one. This quote is, "The garments keep on changing." When a judge sits in a courtroom, he wears robes befitting a judge. But when he goes to his club, he appears in the clothes that are worn at a club. When he is home, he wears clothes that differ from those he wears on the street. And before retiring at night, he changes his clothes once again. The garments keep on changing, but the man remains the same. He is addressed in different ways by different people, yet the man is forever the same man. Likewise, all different forms and phenomena in creation differ in their qualities. No two forms in the world appear to be the same. For nothing in creation seems to be stable. All is changing from one to the other. Yet, at the basis of all these ever-changing phases of forms and phenomena of creation, the underlying reality is the same, never-changing, eternal, absolute being. So what do you get from that, Corey? Did you...
Oh, I zoned out there.
You zoned out for a minute. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess what he's teaching in that quote, when I first read it, and I first read the first part, I thought it was going to be about reincarnation. But it's actually beyond reincarnation. It is that basically we are all from the same source. Some people call that God. He calls it eternal absolute being, but we are all from the same source. So here's quote number 2 from the Maharishi Yoga. It's called Through a Red Glass. And he says, if one puts a red glass to his eye, everything he sees is red. If he looks through a green glass, he sees everything as green. Whatever the individual's state of mind, it reflects itself. But due to ignorance, generally, the atmosphere is held to be responsible for it. And I believe that's a teaching on you create your reality through your beliefs. And everything that's in your life you've created, but often we point the finger to others and say, that was you who put that there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree with that. It's very true. I mean, there's some really neat metaphors on that as well. On a window pane, and if it's all smoggy and dirty, what you see through it is what you see through it, and you complain about it there, but you haven't cleaned your own windows. And it's very true, and I think that holds true really well at this time of the year with regards to manifestation. That people are writing questions about what's 2017 going to bring me. Well, 2017 bring you whatever you create.
Exactly. Whatever glass you're looking through, that's what you'll get. All right, here's another one. The quote is about, it's not the nature of the bee to fly. If a honeybee is flying here and there in search of a honeyed flower, it should not be thought that flying is its nature. It is flying with the purpose of remaining steady at a flower. It will wander as long as it does not find a flower containing honey. But as soon as the flower is found, the bee immediately will alight on it. There is a purpose to the flying. It's not the nature of the bee to fly. Rather, its nature is to be at a flower and draw out the honey. Similarly, the mind wanders, but it is not wandering by nature. It wanders because it does not find a place to rest or a medium of happiness. So, of course, the Buddha had a different metaphor, which was 100 drunken monkeys, explaining how the human mind wanders. And I guess this is the Maharishi's version of that, saying that the mind needs something to focus on, a place to rest, a way of being in stillness.
I think it also relates to life itself. I mean, if there's no purpose in your life, then you're just wandering around aimlessly.
Yeah, good point.
Again, great point for this upcoming year. It's great to find your purpose and then, look through the right purpose glass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, focus on what you want to create. All right, so here's another one, number 4. It's called At the Mercy of the Doctor. It says, when a doctor is to operate on a patient, he cuts into the body in all kindness, sympathy, and willingness to help the patient. But he can only start operating when the patient has completely given himself to him. The patient has to put himself at the mercy of the doctor, and only then can the doctor operate for the patient's benefit. Similarly, if one submits oneself to nature, nature begins to operate on him, and all that nature does is for his own evolution and good. So, I believe that it's that let go and let God. Go with the flow. Don't control. Don't try to control it, but just allow it to unfold. What was your read on it, Corey? If you had one.
I'm not sure I've formulated it completely here, but I would think so. It's about giving in, not giving up, which a lot of people think is giving in, but giving in to circumstance and not trying to control every circumstance that you're put in. But you've also got to remember you put yourself in the circumstance, and it's just I don't know if it's a nature thing or
surrender.
I think it's just a surrender, giving in to whatever it may be. Even if you're sick or something, if there's a problem in your life, giving in to it doesn't mean you're giving up to it.
No, actually quite the opposite, because I think that when you're giving in to something, it's really that you're accepting it. And when you're accepting it, you're not resisting it. And you're letting the energy flow, and you're letting the changes happen in the acceptance and in the surrender. Okay, so now quote number 5 from the Maharishi Yoga, ripples and waves of the vast ocean. Being is like a limitless ocean of life, silent and ever existing in the same status. The different aspects of creation can be taken as ripples and waves in the vast ocean of eternal being. So we are ripples in the vast ocean of eternal being. So we're all part of the oneness in its eternal manifestations of itself. Alrighty, I've got 5 more here.
They're good.
They are good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, the next ones, I read the ones that were easier to get a little bit, actually. Oh, the phone's going. Okay. All right. So I'll read a short one while Corey answers the phone. A skilled gardener waters the root. If a petal of a flower starts to wither, a skilled gardener does not water the petal, he waters the root. If a relationship begins to create tension, very little can be gained by trying to reconcile the parties by suggestions on the surface. So you have to get to the root of the matter. You have to go deeply and get to the root of the matter. So here's another short one in a similar vein. A dry leaf on the ground. All relative life without the conscious basis of being is like a ship without a rudder, ever at the mercy of the tossing sea. It is like a dry leaf on the ground, left to the mercy of the wind, drifting aimlessly in any direction. The wind will take it, for it has no roots to anchor it. And that's really about bringing your consciousness and the presence of your being into your life. I'm talking about this one all the time, grounding, being grounded, being present in your body, so that spirit or your consciousness or your being is the one that is directing your life. And then here's another one, the sap and the root, quotes by the Maharishi Yoga. Being is the basis of all living. Just as without the sap and root there would be no tree. If we take care of the sap, the whole tree will be taken care of. Similarly, if we take care of being, the whole field of thinking and doing will be taken care of. And so being comes first because being is who you are. Spirit comes first because spirit is who you are. And we're going to take our first caller now, even before we go to the break. So let's see who we have on the line. Just waiting for that call to come through right now. And here we go. So hello, caller.
Hey, this is Susie calling you.
Oh, hello, Susie. How are you
Hello.
today?
My friend Leslie. So I'm calling, and so I'm working this issue that I've been working on to do with the second chakra.
Right.
Has been very powerful. I've had other focuses at other times in my life, but this one is very, very interesting. So, I actually took on a healing practice where I'm clearing emotional baggage.
Right.
It's a practice, which I'll tell you about another time.
Yeah.
And so I've moved a lot of energy in the last little while. And so, I'm just feeling, essentially what I feel about the second chakra in this particular health issue that I'm working on as well, is that I'm having a really hard time having ownership. Like, it feels like I don't have enough ownership of that part of my chakra system and also that part of the organ that I'm dealing with. It feels like it's part of its ownership and part of it is a lot of emotional baggage and this and that. But the last time we talked, there was an entity as well hanging around there too, which might come up as well. So I'm just having a look at the work that I've been doing, and if it's visible, like if you can see anything about the improvement.
Is this a new practice since last
really
time?
Hard.
Is this a new practice since last time we spoke?
Yes, it's new.
Okay.
It's brand new. Yes, I've only been doing it for about half a week, and it's very, very powerful. I'll have to tell you about it another time.
Okay, so let's take a look. Well, the first thing I see is, it's funny, I was drawn to look really at your crown chakra first, because it looks super, super bright. So I can see it's like you've had a download of new spiritual information and you're feeling very excited about it. So that looks really good, that you're integrating this new information in this new healing practice. Yeah, that whole area around the head, it's interesting. For some reason, I'm looking at your ears. I don't know why.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's take a look. Yeah, I don't know. It reminds me, I don't know, is there some information there about pressure points, acupressure points, and pressing parts of the ears? Or is it something completely different? Because
no, it's not to do with the ears.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay. But it's really, it's powerful. It's to do with targeting. It's done through muscle testing, and it's targeting specific. It's like we go to the organ of issue or the health issue, and it goes into this graph, and you can find out exactly what emotions are locked in that area, and then releasing them through energy work. Yeah. And it's very direct, and it makes you feel quite sick actually afterwards, because it's moving so much energy.
Yeah, it looks like it's regardless of what it looks like, it is stimulating pressure points and stimulating energy pathways in the body.
Yeah,
it does
that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, it does look like it's doing that.
It releases the meridians.
Yeah, exactly. Because for some reason, because people who do that, they do, sometimes it's the feet, sometimes it's the hands, sometimes it's the ears, and it's really showing up in the ears. It's like lots of changes going on. All right, so let me just continue. And it looks like actually what happened with you being alerted to this new practice is that you downloaded a lot of spiritual information that you already had in higher aspects of yourself. So it may be past lifetimes, for example, but I'm seeing, all those sort of ancient, those ancient charts that you can see that sometimes the Tibetan Buddhist monks, their form of healing, and all those diagrams of where the meridians are and all of that. But I'm seeing very sort of ancient charts that look like that sort of being downloaded into you. So I think it's stimulated you to access a whole bunch of knowledge that you that you can use in your healing. Anyway, I suppose that's a bit beside the point. So let's just focus on how this, because I'm seeing it's affecting everywhere. Even though you might be focusing on the second chakra, it looks like it's affecting everywhere, and it's.
Oh yes, when I lie down, my whole body's just buzzing.
Yes, that's what.
And I feel like a soup of mucus because it's stirring up all this crap too at the same time. It's pretty interesting.
That's what I was seeing. It's like the ears were buzzing, the head. Exactly. Yeah, it's really, really seems to be.
It's quite intense.
Yeah, so I'm sort of working my way down, and it's so funny because it's almost like you're lining up these diagrams and these charts, these ancient charts of the meridians and acupressure points on your own body. It's kind of
like in my my other levels of myself, right?
Yeah. So just sort of it's affecting everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so now and of course that makes sense because, Western medicine might treat something going on in one part of the body like it was a car and you just need to change the part or oil the part. But of course it's a whole system. So, okay, so this looks really positive,
it
Susan.
really is. I'll have to talk to you in more detail sometime.
So I'm going down to the area around the second chakra, and what I'm seeing right now is, I can only describe it as an energy bubble, but it's large. it's the size of the whole reproductive area. Almost like, when you have a baby, it's inside the amniotic sac, except it's an energy bubble. And the energy bubble, it's interesting. The only analogy I can think of is either a cyst or having a baby. I guess they're slightly different things, but it's sort of like the cyst fills up with, sort of stuff that you're wanting to get rid of, or the when you're having a baby, you're growing this thing that eventually is going to be released, aren't you? Either way, it's like growing a thing that's going to be released. And so it feels like on an energetic level, you've got this energy ball that's filling up. Yeah. Like a sack that's filling up, that for the purpose of being released. Yeah. And it looks like it's connected. This is interesting. It looks like it's connected by an energy cord, a bit like an umbilical cord, into the second chakra. And so let's just take a look. What's going on with that? And a couple of things come up. There's a story, I think it's some kind of Native American story about feeding the wolves, and which wolf do you feed? Right. So it looks like you're looking at cutting off the energy supply. It's like you want to get all the energy out into it, and then you're looking at cutting off the energy supply. So it's like, get out what I've stored in here, and stop the behavior or whatever it is that's causing me to keep feeding this wolf. So you're in the middle of this process right now, and now the second chakra itself. Let's see. I'm seeing a lot of yellow and orange energy around that area, and it looks like. Do you want me to give you a hand letting go of this bubble and just breaking that energy cord? Because it looks like that you're wanting to let it go. Okay. And some of it has lost hopes and dreams. Things that you wanted that you didn't manifest, to do with that area of your body, or other creative things. So we're wanting to. So that energy cord has got a number of roots, which are keeping it there. So we're just teasing away the roots and just helping you clear the pictures that it's attached to. There's some beliefs that it's attached to. So we're sort of halfway. Got half of it detached. There's one really strong central root that's sort of staying there. So let's see. So it seems like it goes in quite deep. It goes all the way down through the first chakra. It goes all the way, and it goes all on a physical level. It goes all the way down through the reproductive system and out through the opening in the body. So let's see if we can. It's starting to collapse and be let go of. So we let go of where it was attached in the second chakra, and now we're just working on where it's attached in the first chakra. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now what I want you to do, Susie, is just go above the top of your head, and I want you to fill in that space in the area of the second chakra, in your belly, the emotion. Fill it in with your.
fill it in with gold energy, is that what you mean?
I want you to fill it in with your life force energy. So just float above the top of your head and send your own life force energy, which is red.
Well, not in the center of my head, above my head?
Yeah, float above the top of your head.
Okay.
Yeah, and just send your life force energy to fill that whole area. Because we create.
Is it coming?
Yeah.
Is it working?
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's working. We created a big vacuum for you to fill in with your own energy. And then you can wash it through with gold energy as well, and then you can come back into your body. So you let go.
Is it working? Did it work?
Yeah. You let go of a whole bunch of stuff, and you filled in with your own energy, right? Which is what you need to do in order to own that area for yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
So that feels complete.
That's wonderful. Okay, and that entity, you don't see the entity there?
No, I didn't see anything like that, no. And
okay.
this healing that you're doing looks really good.
Okay, yes, I will give you more information at a time because it's pretty fun.
Great.
It's fun. Okay, well, that's really great. So I should keep doing that then.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Brilliant.
All right, I'll stay in touch. Okay.
All right, thank you. Bye. Okay, listeners, well, that was Susie, and we're going to go for a break, and we will be back in a flash. Hello everyone, welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. We've been talking about quotes from the Maharishi Yoga this evening. We do have another caller waiting on the line, so I'm just waving to the producer that he can send that through, and we'll answer any life question that you have, give you a spiritual perspective on it. Hello, caller. Hello. Who am I talking to?
Alana.
Hello, Alana. How can I help you today?
I have a question around relationships because I just want to know if I'm going backwards or because after something that happened this weekend, I feel like instead of moving forward and achieving like finding a partner that is suitable for me, a male partner, I just feel like sometimes I'm like, I just want to know where I'm at now. Like, I know you read me a few months ago on the show, and I just want to know if there's any change or some new information.
Let's do a little reading around your growth cycle around relationships and see what comes up.
Okay.
And I'm going to do like a little rose reading for you. And that's just for listeners. That's just letting a rose represent Alana's energy and the question that she's asking about, and then interpreting what comes up. And the color vibration, Alana, is pink. And so I'm seeing that you're really working on acceptance, in particular of yourself. So accepting yourself and loving yourself. And of course, that's the first step in magnetizing anything that we want, is to become the vibration of what we're wanting. And so I am seeing that you have been in a growth cycle around building your relationship with yourself. Now, the other thing, though, that I'm seeing is that this rose is quite indistinct that I'm looking at. And so I'm not that readily able to discern the petals. And I'm going to look at why that is. But I am seeing also that the flower is directly under the sun. So it's in alignment with source energy. So let me just...
What word did you use? The rose is distinct, or... I'm
unable to distinguish the individual petals.
Oh, okay.
So the vibrational frequency tells me that you've been working on self-acceptance and self-love and being in the frequency of love and just feeling that in your vibrational field in order to attract more of it. So that's one great thing, and I think that has been a shift since last time I looked at your energy. But I'm also saying that this cycle, you're probably about halfway, slightly over halfway through it, and at this point, there's some new some clarity that isn't there yet, and I that's what I'm going to look at next. And that's,
okay, great.
So let me just see what that's to do with. So, you're familiar with the idea of perfect pictures, aren't you, Ilana?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm seeing it's perfect pictures. And for the listeners, what we mean by perfect pictures is concepts about reality that we are operating from, such as having a certain set of expectations about something, expecting it to be in a certain way. And so what I'm seeing that you're wanting to get at in the center of this rose is some perfect pictures about relationships. You're really wanting to let them go. So let's see if I can pick out what any of them might be. Well, it's just, so examine yourself, and anywhere where you're saying, it should be like this, or it should be like that, or this is, anywhere where you're really having and this is kind of interesting, because on the one hand, we want to say what we want, and we want to know what we want. And on the other hand, we just want to watch that doesn't turn into perfect pictures. And so that's what I'm seeing that the next phase of this growth cycle is about, is just letting go of expectations so that so I'll show you the picture that I'm seeing. It's like a hummingbird coming into the center of the flower and drinking the nectar. And so it's almost like, well, if you expect a hummingbird, then if you're focused on getting a hummingbird, then none of the other birds might appear. But you know what? You could have a great time with a woodpecker. Just a funny analogy there. But that's the idea. And so I'm seeing like just working on in that area of, okay, what do I want to manifest? But at the same time, where am I limiting myself by perfect pictures? That looks like the next stage of this cycle. But in answer to your question, it looks like there has been growth, and there has been some shift in energy, and in the direction that you want to go in attracting a relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we do have another caller, so I'll just check in with you if there's any last piece of this, or...
Yeah, well, there's this person that I don't even know, and I want to get to know him, but I don't know how to approach, or like whether I should be just manifesting people to come to me, or I don't know, like.
See, there's the perfect pictures that I was talking about. Right there, okay. So it's like trying to figure out the perfect way to make this happen. So let's see.
Right.
You probably don't want to say the person's first name, but I'll check in. Well, I think, like letting go of the perfect pictures and staying amused and light and having things be it's sort of like, looks like what you're doing is, he's the hummingbird. Oh, there's a hummingbird. I want a hummingbird, right? So you're locking in on the hummingbird. And I'm just seeing, sort of pulling your energy back and being amused about it and being playful and not serious. Looks to me, like an approach that might work. Okay. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to have to go just because we've got another caller. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Thank you for calling.
All right.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to wave at the producer and say that we can listen to the next person and see this is great. And see what question they have this evening on Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. Hello, caller. Who am I talking to?
Hello, Dr. Leslie. This is Lola.
Lola, how lovely to hear your voice.
Yes.
What's your question today?
My question for today is in alignment with what's been the other callers have called in. I have been doing some intense healing work, and specifically doing a lot of guided meditations for cutting the cords to friends, family members, and past people that I've been close with. It's just a gamut, and as I continue to do it, more and more keeps coming up, and I'm wondering if I've kind of hit a bit of if at some point I should kind of literally cut it off, because it's school friends, and there doesn't seem to be a theme in terms of who's coming up, but it feels really good when I'm doing it, and but the end result is that I'm extremely drained with energy, and I recently have been learning about Kundalini energy, and I'm just wondering if I should find a way to activate my Kundalini energy to kind of make up for all of what I've lost in the releasing.
Okay, so I will take a look for sure. But of course, Kundalini energy, think of it, it is an energizer, yes, but it is also a huge transformative power. So whenever you run your Kundalini, basically anything that is, it basically spiritualizes your body and everything in your field. So anything that you've stored in your system, like pain, just all, it will start the healing process, a rapid healing process. So on the one hand, yes, it's another energy force that you can run through your body, but on the other hand, it stimulates growth rather than calms it down. So it would speed it up rather than slow it down. If you
and how long does that last for? I've heard, people say it can last for a week, a day or two, months. What?
Okay, so Lola, because we've had some sessions together, about running your energies, right? Mm-hmm. So think of your Kundalini in the same way as that. It is an energy that you can consciously run. You can switch it on, you can switch it off, and you can use it in your spiritual growth at your command. So you can decide how strongly you run it. And so the information that you're getting is that it's sort of something that happens that you have no control over, and then it's a period that you go through. And that's not really the way that my information on Kundalini is. I use it all the time, and I use it consciously, and it's not, and so, and also in life, you never stop growing. So you can use your Kundalini through your whole life to assist you in your growth.
Okay.
So it might stimulate a very large growth cycle when you first start using it, but the idea is to get some good training in how to run your Kundalini so that you can be in charge of that process. And I'll give you a little analogy. I was taught to run my Kundalini a long time ago, probably, maybe even 15, 16, 17 years ago. And the person who taught me said, well, just run it for an hour every day from now, till you get used to it. And I said, I can do more. And I ran it for 24 hours solid. And then the next 24 hours, I spent sobbing in a ball on the floor because it lit up that much stuff in my system. So it really does behoove you to get some good information about how to use it. But anyway, I'm going to look at your question now, and I'll do what I did with the last caller. I'll just do maybe a little rose reading for you. So let's just take a look at what's going on with you cutting the cords. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing it feels good because it is good. Because you're separating you're letting go of pastime energy. You're clearing out foreign energy that you've stored in your space. You're letting go of the way other people have influenced you, so you can have your own beliefs. And what I'm seeing is making you say, should I stop? Is the other people that don't want you to let go. So that's the first thing that I'm seeing. That, of course, whenever we make a change energetically that involves somebody else, that whether they're conscious of it or not, they'll feel it, they'll notice it. And so I'm just seeing that the letting go that you're doing is having an impact on the people that you're letting go of. And some of them are resistant to being let go of. So that's the first thing. And so that's what's saying, oh, you better stop now. This isn't, And then if let's look at the question of why you're feeling drained after you're doing it. And I'm seeing it's the same reason. I'm seeing that when you're feeling drained, it's not because you're in it. Well, what it is that it looks like there's some people who are just not wanting you to let go. And it's the, for want of a better word, battle of them wanting to hold on and stay in that energetic connection, and you wanting to let go of them. That's what I'm seeing is making you feel drained, is the foreign energy, and the foreign energy amping up in response to you wanting to release it, as opposed to this being you letting go of your energy. And actually quite the opposite. If you can let go of the foreign energy, you should feel a lot better. Does that help you?
Yes. Okay, that's what I it wasn't making sense, because I know I was doing everything on my part, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So just keep going, be determined, keep going, and set your energetic boundaries. And some people are harder to let go of than others sometimes, especially the closer family members. They get really hooked in. Anyway, Lola, we have another caller. We've got a really busy night.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for calling, and do call again soon.
I will. Thanks.
Right.
Bye now.
Okay, folks, we have another caller, and so I'm going to wave at the producer that it's okay to pass them through. And I don't know what he's. Okay, I'm not sure what he's saying. I think he's thinking maybe we'll go to a break and come back after the break. Oh no, he is going to send the person through. Yep. Okay. Yeah, the phone lines are jumping tonight. Everyone's focused on their spiritual growth because of the new year, I think. It's the perfect time, isn't it, for us to take stock of ourselves and see how is our life going and what we want to change. Hello, caller. How can I help you, and who am I talking with?
Oh, good evening. This is Sandy.
Hello, Sandy. How are you?
I'm just fine. Thank you very much.
Good.
Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I had a question in regards to possible career change.
Okay.
In the not too distant future. I'm considering still in the healthcare field, but something more holistic. I'm just wondering if I might be making a change in the next year or so.
Okay, and what do you do now?
I work in home support.
Home support.
So in the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look. I'll just do the same little rose reading that I've been doing for everybody else and see what comes up. Okay, so it looks like it's interesting. It looks like there's some things that you like about your job now, and there's some things that you don't like, and you're looking at how can I have it so that the balance is more encompasses the things that I like. So again, I'm seeing that do you remember I don't know if you've been listening to the whole show, but there was a lady earlier and I did a rose reading for her, and her rose was pink. Your rose is pink as well.
Oh, okay.
And you're also focused on giving to yourself, giving more to yourself in terms of what you love and what feeds you and what makes you feel good, and what supports you. And I'm seeing that it looks like on the one hand, with the home support, you like to be of service and you like the healing aspect, but it looks like also sometimes it takes a toll on you. And again, like the lady that we were just talking to, it looks like because some of the people that you're looking after get into your space, and you've got that, then you're carrying around their energy and their problems in your space, and it makes you feel weighed down. And so you're looking at, how can I change my life so I'm not having this in it?
Right.
And so here's, let's see, and there's two answers to this, really, because one is, you could be doing that job and learn some things about how to manage your energy to make the burden lighter.
Okay.
Or you could do a different job, and I feel like you're wanting to do both. You're wanting to learn how to manage the energy better, and if you followed a more holistic career choice, naturally that might help you do that, and at the same time give you entry into a different job that would allow you to be in the realm of healing. Mm-hmm. Let me just take another slightly longer look at this. Yeah, you're saying, I want to do what I love without feeling responsible. I mean, and it looks like that's one of the key areas that you're looking at shifting, is responsibility. Responsibility for others, and taking on their stuff and doing it for them, as opposed to empowering them to do it themselves. And of course, sometimes when somebody's physically disabled, you have to do it for them, right? So that
you do. That's what you're there for,
yeah,
too.
Exactly. So I'm not talking about that physical aspect. I'm talking more about
the emotional.
The emotional
connection.
When people have problems. Exactly, the emotional connection. And so the growth that I'm seeing, that you're expanding into learning how not to take responsibility for others, and learning how to leave their energy with them and not take it home with you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So and it really looks to me as though, I mean, you're asking me this question, but even though you're asking me this question, it looks to me like it is your intention to do this.
Oh,
and it's just like, how is it going to happen?
Right. How does that look?
How does that look? But to me, it looks like you've already decided that this is what you want. And for sure, the growth in terms of a holistic approach and learning how to manage energy and how to work with energy and how to...
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And not just in the context of giving someone else a healing, but how to manage your own energy so that you're supporting yourself and feeling good about what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. There's that balance that I would like to find, and the way in which you're explaining it is really sounds on target with how I feel. You just put it in words. Is what you just did. So. Yeah.
But I'm seeing it looks really bright. This path that's dawning upon you to take. It looks super, super bright. It looks wonderful. And so I would just validate that it looks like a good choice for you that you've already made.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I feel like maybe that's kind of maybe what I've done. So thank you for clarifying that for me.
Well, you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Were there any specific areas that you were thinking of going into that we can look at for you?
I think going more towards energy healing, like Reiki, and a little bit more into metaphysics as well.
Yeah. So so those ideas look okay. They look in the right direction, but it looks to me like I'm not sure that it's Reiki. It might be something else. So keep your options open for a while.
Okay. Yeah.
And do some more exploring and see what what really resonates with you, because there's something that really resonates with you, something quite powerful, and I don't actually think it's Reiki.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly enough. And of course, Reiki is just a name that we use to talk about energy healing. There are so many different modalities of energy healing.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's all energy healing. But no, I'm seeing.
Any particular direction there?
Well, Reiki looks for some reason it looks limiting, and maybe it's just the label of calling it the modality of Reiki. But because it looks like something that is. I don't know if it's even not labeled, but it just looks like putting a label like a Reiki and I'm a Reiki practitioner would put a limit on it, because it feels bigger than that somehow. Or like when you said Reiki, it was like, yeah, well, that's the kind of thing, but the energy dimmed a little bit from what I was first looking at. So
there's something else,
possibly, yeah. And but it looks fantastic. It looks really, really great for you to be pursuing that.
Okay.
Wonderful, Sandy. Great. Well, thank you.
I'll have to investigate further.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you for calling.
Oh, absolutely.
Bye.
Thanks for now. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of our show, listeners. I hope you've enjoyed the show. And, of course, we'll be back next week. And if you want to write to us with your questions, you're welcome to write to info@drlesliephillips.com. And thank you, everybody that wrote in with your questions over the holidays. We have a large number of questions that we didn't get to tonight because of the live callers, but we will endeavor to get to your questions over the coming weeks. And so, also, if you have a subject that you would like us to talk about, it would be fabulous if you could write and let me know. What would you like to learn about by listening to this show? So write to info@drlesliephillips.com. And also do go to drlesliephillips.com and check it out, because there's a fantastic course coming up starting next Monday that you might be interested in checking out, all about clearing the blocks to your intuition.
Also, Dr. Leslie, just while we're at it, being the new year, if any of the listeners enjoy the show and would like to send us out, some of our regular callers, send us out a testimonial so we can put that on the website as well. At info@drleslie.com.
Yeah, I'd love that. That would be great. That would be so valuable to be able to do that and spread the word. Spread the word. Help us spread the word by sending us a testimonial and also telling your friends to listen in. And give us feedback. You know, we want to support you in your spiritual unfoldment and help you with your questions and also what you want to learn about. So, all right, I'm going to sign off and say love and light to everybody, and we will be back in the studio next Tuesday on Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie at civl.ca on 101.7 FM.
Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to another Unlocking Your Truth podcast by Dr. Leslie Phillips. For more information, go to our website at drlesleyphillips.com. That's drlesliephillips.com, where you can ask questions or send her an email, and there's many free gifts on there for you as well. Come back again.